So it would seem that autumn has somewhat crept up on me. It's a little chilly out here. Beautiful day, but a little chilly. And Leia is completely displeased that I've had to lash her off for just a second while I do all of this. Now, I know 2 8x10 videos in a row with old Winston, but today is not going to be so much, baby, you're okay, you're all right. Today's not going to be so much about actually making the pictures with the 8x10 camera, although we are going to do that. No, it is going to be about the film. More specifically, loading up film in those big honking 8x10 holders using this. Let me show you what this is. This is Adorama's brand, still has a tag on it, of pop-up changing tents. Now, if you're a film degenerate like me, I will virtually guarantee you that you either have or have used in the past a dark bag or a changing bag in order to change out your large format film holders, change out your film inside of your whatever camera, anything that you need to have a little tiny portable darkroom on hand. That's what you use a changing bag for. Now, I've had this little bad boy for months, quite literally. Adorama's gonna put the leeches on me if I don't get it done. But I've never used it until today. How snazzy is that? So as you can, yeah. So as you can see, it is quite literally a little pop-up tent to change out your film. There are quite a few of these on the market nowadays. They vary wildly in price. This is, of course, knowing me, the most cost-effective version of this item that I've found. They are, like I said, they get astronomical in price depending on how big, the brand, all that good stuff. This one, very manageable, especially when compared to some others on the market. Now, folks, the reason that changing tents are such a game changer when compared to dark bags or changing bags is because if you are a large format shooter, a changing bag literally is just that. It's a bag. You have all your film holders in there. You have all of your actual film, the box for that. That cloth being down on you, it makes things extremely hard when you're trying to get these sheets of film slid inside of the holders, let alone if you have a lot of holders in there, or if you're like me and you shoot these giant 8x10 holders. Now, I'm going to be attempting anyway to load up 3 or 4 of these holders. I can't remember exactly how many I have with me inside of this changing tent, along with our box of good orthochromatic ACVA radiographic green sensitive x-ray film. Now, if you are using anything smaller than 8x10 format, I can tell you right now, this thing is going to have no problem managing your holders, anything you want to put in there. I mean, it's huge. I'll pop the actual dimensions of this thing up on the screen. I know that Adorama actually has more than one model of that. They have some smaller ones, but just reading them off here, the dimensions open is 25 inches by 22 inches by 15 inches, and it folds down to 19 inches and weighs a paltry 1.65 pounds. That's about 0.75 kilograms. So in terms of portability, it's fantastic. Like I said, I'll be working out of Bruce while we're on the road here. Of course, I have the big hive, that converted ice fishing hut. Baby, you're okay. That converted Eskimo Quick Fish 3 ice fishing hut. That is where I'll be doing the majority of my changing. I'm keeping this on hand, as well as my original changing bag that I've had forever. Just in case I'm doing something like this, I don't want to set up the dark room, I need to change out my film, I run out of holders, and I need to take the film out of the holders, put new in, and put the shot film, the spent film, back into some kind of container. So let's take a look at this thing a little more close before we actually dive in and load up this film. The changing bag itself is made out of this relatively thick feeling vinyl material, completely matted out black, of course, on the inside, and nice shiny reflective silver on the outside. On either side you have these elastic wristband sleeves. They feel just like the sleeves on a changing bag. one on either side. This would be the front, most logically the front. Dual zippers here on the door. Those of course will zip up. You'll have everything inside, which is what we're about to do. Zip it all up, put your arms in there, and do your business. I'm going to go ahead and load up the changing tent. Make it as clean as possible. So inside goes our 8x10 film. There's one film holder, 2, 3 film holders. I think I have at least one more over here. And I do. So there is 4 8x10 film holders, plus the box underneath here. Let's go ahead and stand that up and give it a little bit more room. Just I'm gonna throw my holders like that. Yeah, that's not too bad. A lot of room up top. We'll see how it actually is getting the dark slides out of there, getting the film in. Of course, all this stuff is usually looks easier than it actually turns out being. Oh, one more thing. I actually brought along a 4x5 film holder, which of course looks tiny compared to the 8x10s, but just so you can see, if you shoot smaller formats, especially if you're a 35mm or a medium format shooter, this is going to be absolute heaven for you in terms of changing out your film if you're used to nothing but a dark bag. All right, well, I can tell Leia is getting upset. You're about to tie yourself up over here, baby. Oh, what have you done? Let me get her untangled. There you go. So I'm going to shut up, get to loading up this film, and then we're going to take a little stroll right down through there and see if we can't find something to fire off a few sheets of this X-ray film. If anything, I do like a good tree. Okay, I only ended up loading 2 out of the 4 because one, I'm probably not going to shoot that much. Secondly, I'm down to about 2% on the GoPro, so I've got to charge that up a little bit, or change out the battery rather. But a few considerations. Baby, I know, we're almost done. A few considerations real quick before the battery does die. This makes a world of difference. Changing these out, I'm not going to lie, it's still a little bit of a squeeze with the 8x10s. I'm not sure if I will actually be using this unless it's absolutely a must, nearly an emergency, because I generally don't do this. I have to take the entire dark slide out of the holder, pull it all the way out this way, flip the holder around facing me, get the sheet of X-ray film out. During all that, this stuff is extremely soft emulsion. It scratches really easy. I'm sure I scratched some of that, and it leaves a lot of possibilities for dust, lint, and everything to get on the film. All that to say, I think maybe one holder at a time, and as much as it would scare me, take the film itself out of the box, leave the box out of there, do a holder at a time, or 2 holders at a time, and I think that would really save a lot of space, make it a lot easier. I'll probably do that next time, but overall, very pleased. Let's go take a few pictures, and we'll talk about this after we wrap everything up. Oh yeah, one more thing. I'm actually shooting tethered because I didn't bring an extra battery for the GoPro to one of my little capacitor chargers. Absolutely a lifesaver. These are actually induction chargers. You can just lay your cell phone down right on there. And when you know it, the link to these are down there in the description. It occurred to me while we're walking here. Come on. It occurred to me while we're walking here that I'm not sure if I even told you where we are. We are in Meriwether-Lewis National Historical Site in Middle Tennessee, more or less Middle Tennessee, here along the Natchez Trace Parkway on the original Natchez Trace. Now this little trip to test out that changing tent is kind of a dual purpose outing because, believe it or not, here at Meriwether-Lewis is one of, if not the only, 3 long-term established campgrounds in the state of Tennessee. How about that? And very soon, when the house hopefully sells, me and Leia will be coming here first. So yeah, we came and checked out the campground. It's pretty amazing, I have to say. And you can't beat free. There's some nice moss, man. Now I'm not going to venture just too much further down through here. Like I said, it's very beautiful because old Winston here, my Corona pictorial view 8x10, which I'm sure you know very well by now, just the camera, without anything else, without a lens, without a holder, weighs about 24 pounds. Yeah, he's a chunky boy. Stick on that Kodak anastigmat, that's about another 2 pounds. God forbid I put on that 19.5-inch CP Gers, that's about another 4 pounds. And then you add in the holder. So yeah, this little bag here, about 30 pounds, conservatively. So we're not going to go too much further at all. So naturally, the shutter messed up. I think that's about it for me and this Packard number 6 shutter. It's just too unreliable. We've already lost the light. I refuse to be beaten, so I'm gonna shift over here. Leia is beyond upset. I'm gonna shift over here somewhere. I finally managed to pry the shutter itself open, and so we'll just use the old dark cloth method for a shutter. Yeah, this one's going to be lost because, like I said, the light is already gone. Anyway, I think that shutter, may just have to send it into Packard and have them fix it, or at least see if they can fix it. So anyway, let's move on. So, Leia and I are headed out of Meriwether Lewis here. Been an alright day, all except for the little, Packard shutter mishap, which is par for course. But I really do love that changing tent. 8x10 and under, absolutely no problem whatsoever. 8x10 gets a little tight. I have to completely take out the dark slide, and I think over time that's just going to cause a lot of wear and tear on not only the film holders but the actual changing tent itself. That dark slide, rub it up against that, might even end up poking a hole through there. And like I said, it's just very very tight inside of there with 4 holders plus the box of 8x10 film. That being said, I did actually off camera put one of the dark slides, the film holders back in there, because I had one of the dark slides flipped. So I put just one back in there. That was a lot better, but like I said, it was still a very sparse real estate for getting that dark slide out. Anything over 8x10 would be virtually an impossibility. So yeah, 11x14 cycle paths, you're probably not going to be using one of these changing tents anyway, but even if you wanted to, you couldn't. Now, anything under 8x10, you're going to be all set. 135 or 35 millimeter, it's going to be just fine. You don't have to worry about anything. Medium format, absolutely no problem at all. You can put your camera and at least 2 or 3 film backs in there, and you're not going to have any trouble with room at all. So all that out of the way, I absolutely adore this little changing tent from Adorama. I think for the price, you really can't go wrong with it. They make a smaller one if you're just shooting 4x5 or something like that. Leia, you're okay, baby. I got to finish up the video for the people here. Anything under 8x10, honestly, I think you could get away with the smaller model of this tent, save you just a little bit more money there. But this size that I have here, I think that is the bare minimum for getting away with changing out 8x10 holders. I really am curious about how the longevity of this thing is going to last compared to maybe some of the higher end models. But when you think about it, I think you could probably buy 2 of these for the price of one of those. Like I said, there's a lot of them out there. Time will tell as far as the durability, but so far it seems to be really, really well made. I don't know why it's taken me so long to get one of these. I'm telling you, it will do away with any kind of the dreaded sweaty hands. It gives you so much more room when you're changing out film on the fly, on the go, when you're traveling. Man, I'm telling you, of course, I'm still going to carry my dark bag with me, just, because you never know. But I think with this, changing out anything 8x10 and under is going to be an absolute dream, especially when something malfunctions. I have to get in there with my medium format and my 35 millimeter cameras. It's really going to save the day. Just don't go bigger than 8x10, and don't be surprised if you're shooting 8x10 like me to find the room inside of this just a little bit on the slim side. If you have any questions about this changing tent, folks, or anything else for that matter, you know where to put those down there in the comments. And I would appreciate it if you got anything out of this video, enjoyed it, please use my links. It helps out a lot, those affiliate links. And if you're feeling extra generous, thank you in advance for putting a little bit of change in that super thanks tip jar down there at the bottom as well. Thanks a lot for being here, everybody. And before I get lost, I still can't end these videos.